What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing today? Hope y'all having a good day today. So a little update on the Sarms Volg. Little disclaimer: you should not use Sarms. They are for research purposes only. If you do use it, you should have lab rats and things of that nature. Now, getting to the good stuff. I'm using Sarms myself, obviously, and yeah. So a little update. So a lot of people, when they do these experiments on themselves, they set it up in a manner where they get their base, which is usually testosterone base, preferably injectable testosterone. I do not have injectable testosterone. I'm having to use Hormone tablets and creams to get my testosterone level that is adequate, so the way I don't have a low energy, I don't have low sex drive, yada yada yada. So excuse me. So if you want to know what I've used as my base, I'll give a quick overview. So I'm using high-tech pharmaceuticals Superdrol. It's not the actual Superdrol steroid, it's a pro-hormone, particularly andro 1 and andro 4, which convert to testosterone in the body when it hits the liver. And I'm also using Gear Cream, which has DHEA, andro 1, andro 4, RDHEA, which is a mixture of testosterones and dihydrotestosterones. Not good for hair. You can and probably will lose hair if you are DHT sensitive. I'm currently using a SARM for my hair to protect it. RU58841, which is a SARM very similar to finasteride. It blocks DHT, or the conversion of testosterone to DHT in the hair follicles. I use them here, and back here on the crown to kind of protect my hair. I have been experiencing a little bit of hair loss since the age of 21. I'm 30 now, so I pretty much have a full head of hair at the age of 30. Of course, I take finasteride and various other products, but getting into the SARMs. So, I have been slow. Like I said, most people, when they set up a cycle, they usually have their base, and then they usually have the SARMs they're going to be cycling on. They stick with that. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm kind of doing like 3 mini cycles in one big cycle, a 12-week cycle. I'm doing, and if you want to know what I did in the first 4 weeks, just refer back to, some of my other Sarms vlogs. Lagandrol, Rad 140, and Ostrine. Now, I've decided that, most people, when they do a cycle, it's almost like they're stepping on the gas and they stop by halfway. And they cruise on that throughout the whole cycle. Nothing wrong with that. That's probably most optimal. But what I'm doing is I stepped on the gas and I'm slowly accelerating. Am I going to floor it? No, but I'm going to get pretty close. So, I've decided that I've introduced a little bit of YK11 early. I wasn't going to introduce YK11 until week 9, 10, 11, 12. I decided to go ahead and introduce it. I've dropped the Ostrine dosage to about half. And the first week I did half of YK, 5 milligrams. Now I'm up to 10 milligrams daily of YK11. Now YK11 is a myostatin inhibitor. And I've also decided to do a little bit of HGH peptides midway in this cycle. And very good chance I'm going to extend it to 16 weeks instead of 12. Really pushing it, I know. But I want this to be the last cycle I do for a while. I've only done a couple of cycles, but I've decided, I'm getting pretty happy. When I was done with my last cycle several months ago, I was really happy with the physique that I had. I was 240 pounds, probably 15% body fat. I was pretty happy with that physique. Of course, after I quit it, I did lose a little bit of I don't think I lost any muscle mass, but I did lose a little bit of water weight. And because my strength level was still pretty much the same. Stamina went down a little bit. That's going to happen. When you're on anabolics, your stamina kind of goes up. But nonetheless, sorry, I thought I seen something. I've decided I want this to be the last cycle I do for a few years, actually. I'm actually bigger than what I want to be right now. I'm currently 255 pounds. Strength. Literally like 3 days ago, I bench pressed 365 pounds for 4 reps. Now, you enter this in the bench press calculator. It says my max bench press is 410. I also hit another PR a week prior to that, 315 for 10 reps. And you enter that into the bench press calculator. It says my max bench press is 419. Some will say 420. So, my bench press is now a small step into the 400s. And I know those bench press calculators are pretty accurate because I usually do that to kind of feel out what I should try to go for my max. Now, I'm not going to be trying to go for a max just yet because, your muscle mass will get stronger quicker than your tendons. That's hence why I've introduced, I'm keeping ostarine in the mix. Ostarine is not a super powerful SARM, but it does seem to benefit connective tissues and tendons. So when you're powerlifting on SARMs, it's good to try and take care of your tendons. I'm also doing BPC 157, which is a peptide that promotes healing in whatever area you inject it into. I do have a little bit of a minor injury. My biceps, both of my biceps, particularly on the right side, seem to kind of be a little bit strained. And I think it's from squatting, believe it or not. Not from my actual lifting, but actually squatting. So when I do a low bar squat, and I kind of take my hands, it's kind of hard to show it on this camera, but I'll get the bar sitting on my back and I'll hook my hands like this, and I'll hook them hard. And I'll actually try and bend the bar around my shoulders. That's to help you keep proper squatting form. So I think, and I actually felt it about a week ago when I did that, and I felt a little pull in my my right bicep. And I'm like, what the hell? And I've actually done this before. I've had this minor injury before, and it usually goes away after about a couple of weeks. It'll get to a point after 3-4 days after the initial injury, it hurts the most, and then it slowly gets better after that. And it's already feeling better. And I do believe it's from the BPC 157. I did a couple of small injections near the injury, and it seems to be helping a lot in regards to that. So that's the only real injury I'm suffering from. And I'm also getting some tightness along the collarbones, but I don't think that's from weightlifting. I think that's from sleeping with my neck in a weird way. Because again, this is the biggest I've ever been. And when you get to a certain size, it actually makes sleeping more difficult. And that's why I don't really like being this big. But the whole point of this is to push past what I want as far as my ideal physique, so it makes it easier to maintain when I go into this quote-unquote maintenance mode. I don't want to be this, as a lot of guys say, oh, he's a unit, he's 270 pounds a unit. I don't want to be this massive unit. You know what I mean? I felt the best and looked the best when I was like 240. And that's a little bit bigger than, what, scratch that thought. I don't know where I was going with that thought. But, 240, I felt the best in. But now I'm 255, and I'm actually starting to suffer the repercussions of being too big. I actually look at the mirror, in a lot of regards, I'm like, I'm kind of getting too big, which I'm enjoying it for the short run. Once I get done with this cycle, I'll probably be in the 260s, and that's going to be pretty interesting to see. I've never been this big before in my entire life. So that'll be kind of interesting to see for a little while, but I don't want to be in my 260s for ever and a day. Studies show once you get to a certain super physiological size, it's actually unhealthy. Muscle is kind of the quote unquote fountain of youth, but you can't have too much. And believe it or not, I'm starting to get to the point where I have too much. And I'm actually starting to feel like I'm having too much. I'm actually starting to feel like my stamina is at the very beginnings of kind of suffering a little bit. And it's a weird kind of way. When it comes to stamina in the gym, I could do reps and reps and reps and reps and reps, right? But as far as stamina for, everyday life, it's starting to suffer a little bit. I'm at the very beginnings of it suffering. So I can only imagine if I got up to in the 270s, bodybuilder, official bodybuilder status. I'm kind of getting there already, I could probably enter into some shows, and if there was like, I don't know, 20 bodybuilders, I'd probably place midway, if I'm being, and I'm really honest, I'm really good at judging myself and where I'd fall. I'm not going to sit here and blow up and be like, yeah, I'd probably win. No, I don't have the best muscle shapes or best muscle attachments, so on and so forth. But anyhow, yeah, so my strength is continuing to go up. I haven't been able to deadlift as much because like I'm still suffering from the back pumps that I started with on Legandro, and it's kind of carrying over with the S23, and and I think it's the S23 because I've done Rad 140 and Ostarine, and I didn't really suffer with the quote unquote extreme muscle pumps in the muscles in the back, and I'm starting to see my muscles in my back really starting to really pop out, which is cool and all, but again, it's starting to get to the point like I feel like I'm getting too big as far as muscle on the body. Arm wise, I'm really liking my arm size. I want to push it a little bit more, but as far as overall, I feel like I'm getting too big, which is kind of cool to say. I never thought I'd be able to say that. but yeah, kind of went off on a tangent there, but back to what I'm currently doing. Like I said, I've introduced YK11 early and started off with like half my dose at 5 milligrams. Now I'm at 10 milligrams a day. And I've also introduced some HGH peptides into the mix. So currently I'm running, like I mentioned, the test base, the test cream. You use two pumps a day, one in the morning, one at night. 2 tablets a day of high-tech pharmaceuticals, Superdrol, mainly for the Andro 1, Andro 4, and Rad 140 at about 15 milligrams a day, S23 at 20 milligrams a day, Ostarine at about 15 milligrams a day, and YK11 at 10 milligrams a day, and an HGH Sericalog, or secretagogue, I don't know why I keep calling it secretagogue, at 25, no, excuse me, I'm doing that twice a day, 25 milligrams twice a day, and I'm doing CJC 1295 with Drug Affinity Complex, which works synergistically with the MK677s. Right now, my HGH levels are probably in the high range at like a lot of like pro bodybuilders would be doing right now. And I'm just doing a little 4-week cycle. I'm already halfway through that little HGH peptide cycle that I'm doing. And it's probably a third, if not 25% of the cost of what it would cost to get onto real HGH. So yeah, recently the FDA has, I don't know if they've completely outlawed it, but they're outlawing a lot of peptides that doctors can't prescribe anymore. Well, fuck you, FDA. You can go on a gray market and black market, and unfortunately, it can be dangerous going on gray market and black market. But you just have to do your due diligence, get third-party testing done on the products in which you are purchasing to do this with, which I have done, and I have trusted sources. I don't want to mention them per se on here, but if you're curious, I can send you a one-on-one email. Just email me. I have a link to my email account I have for this channel. Just look in the About section. You can click on the YouTube page, click on About. My emails for this channel is there. So, yeah, I'm on a lot of anabolics right now. And, I could literally, I didn't do this on purpose because I went from night shift to day shift, but literally there was a week straight where I was probably getting good quality sleep for about 3 hours a night for a week straight. Still broke PRs that week. I'm breaking PRs every week. Not massive, big, huge PR gains, but like I'm adding a rep or two onto some sub-maximal lifts, like 365 for 4 reps. The best I ever did was 365 for 3 reps. And I'm probably going to extend it to 16 weeks. Not going to lie. So, just completed week 7. Yeah, and I'm at the very beginnings of week 8, so I'm only like halfway done with everything that I'm doing. So, and I've already, like my goal was to try to bench press, as far as strength goes, 400, and squat, 6 plates, which is 585, and deadlift 6 plates. Pretty certain I'm already at those strength goals right now. So I'm actually gonna go past what I originally thought that I was gonna be able to do on this. So, which again, I'm currently on a lot of, anabolics, if you will. And yeah, sleep is still kind of fucked up. Probably more like sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night. But that's because it's just like, and it's weird too, because it kind of feels like I'm sleeping like 7 hours a night, like a good 7 hours a night on 5 to 6 hours of sleep. But it's just because my body is so anabolic and it recovers that really I could probably get away with sleeping 3 hours a night and still make gains. That's how anabolic some of this stuff I'm taking is. And this is just covering the anabolics of what I'm doing for my body. Now, as far as I'm also taking other things too. I'm also taking nootropics for the brain, because I've decided like everything on my body is geared. My brain, my body, something else. Won't mention that here, but you can use your imagination. Not that it needed to be geared, but I was curious as to actually if some of these creams and tablets could actually help certain things of a certain nature. If you get my drift, and it actually seems to be actually working. So, but I'm getting sidetracked. I'm taking dihexa and bromotain for the brain, and honestly, I think it's actually helping me see clear, have a more clear mind, because I've been struggling ever since my car accident. So, yeah, I've decided like I'm an all or nothing kind of person. I'm going all in, and and I did my research. None of this stuff seems to be reacting to any of the other anabolics and things that I'm on. Everything seems to be positive besides the sleep. There for a minute, I did notice a slight increase in irritation and irritability, but that actually is kind of starting to subside now. I guess my mind is adjusting to the anabolics I'm currently on and being irritable. Depression and things like that has not gotten any worse or any better. In some ways, it's probably gotten better because I see things a little bit more clearly. And I don't know if that's a mixture of the nootropics and the peptides in which I'm taking from my brain, or if that's just, me thinking and meditating on things more. But anyhow, a little bit longer video than I intended. But if you watch this the whole way through, and then you want a response from me, send me an email asking about what the two peptides I'm taking from my brain are. But anyways, if you watched this far, thank you. I appreciate you watching. Peace.